tackling another furniture flip today. I love these. These are just like so satisfying to get done, to watch. But I did hesitate to show you guys this project just because it didn't turn out quite like I had hoped. Not in how it actually was executed. I love the way it looks, but for a different reason. So I think that is something that's important to share and just like be honest about when you're doing DIYs, especially just like making content. So I think you're really going to enjoy this video if you are someone who is nervous to tackle a wood staining project. You really want to learn how to balance like the wood tones better, like specifically red wood tones, or if you just love watching good furniture flips. So let's dive in. I'm going to show you how I did this and hopefully we'll laugh a little bit along the way and I'll show you how it turns out. What's new? I have another Facebook Marketplace find. So let me show you what it is. It is a dining table and I'm going to see if today we can bring it back to life. I got this piece for free and the owner of it, she had started it as a project piece and it just wasn't turning out the way that she wanted it, so she gave it away for free. So let's see if we can bring her back to life. Okay, so here is the table and she used citrus strip all over it. I think she said she did like 3 passes on it. She said it's mahogany. I don't really know. Do you guys think this is mahogany? I don't know enough about wood. And so you can see the original finish here, and then this is what it came down to. I'm gonna see if I can just sand this off. I think after 3 passes and this didn't come off, then it's just time to start sanding. The base I'm a little bit concerned about because it has all of these details, but honestly, I really like dark stain, and so I'm thinking I will test an area down here with some of the dark walnut stain that I really like and see how that looks in like a hidden spot. Let me show you the chairs too because they're really beautiful. Okay, as you can see, I have like a sea of chairs back here. My poor husband is just trying to like set up his gym back here and I keep adding chairs. So these came with cushions that are right here that are removable so I could like recover them. But honestly, I like this cream color and it feels really nice too. So those are gonna stay as is. Let's get started on this table.
I've sanded and stained a few pieces of wood furniture so far, and I just want to break down a few of the basics and hopefully just show you guys that it's really not that hard. Here I am just using a 60 grit sandpaper. The lower the number, the more coarse it's going to be. To make sure that you are not pressing too hard to go through the veneer, although this was a pretty thick veneer.
Sanded this little corner here. Thinking what I'm gonna do is stain this part of it and see what happens. That way I'm not wasting my time trying to sand the entire thing if I don't even like it stained. So we're gonna do that now and use some dark walnut stain that I think I already have. This is the one I have, which is antique walnut in satin finish. I hopefully have enough. I'm gonna use it really light and then just kind of see how it goes. So I'm gonna make sure you use gloves and it looks like I have like half of it. So I think that should be plenty.
I think a lot of people are intimidated by staining projects, so I hope that this video can just break down some steps, basic steps, and just show you that, you know, it's just kind of trial and error. So all I'm doing here is just wiping it on. I let it rest on there for about 2 minutes and then I wipe it off. Otherwise it can get kind of blotchy, but I'm just doing this corner here to see if I like the corner. And once I did this, I realized it was very orange and very red. I ideally would like it to be more of a brown wood tone, so I did go in and sanded everything since I really liked the way that the finish was turning out. I just needed to get the color right, so I went to the hardware store and picked up this special walnut stain, which is supposed to be really good, as well as a top coat.
Okay, so I just got back from Lowe's. I did a little bit of research to figure out which stains counteract the red the best. Some techniques you could use to like bleach it, and I don't want to destroy the wood like that. So what I found was using the color Special Walnut, which supposedly has a green undertone to it and is supposed to counteract red just because it's like opposite on the color wheel. Also got this polyacrylic crystal clear top coat in a matte finish that I will use to help like seal it since this is a dining table. I want it to be really functional. See how this goes. This is how red it was once I started doing the stain that I had, which was I think it was actually antique walnut, not dark walnut, antique walnut. Use the antique walnut stain that I had on this and on this little corner. So I am actually gonna go in and do that on the entire thing just so that it's even before I use the Special Walnut. We'll see how it goes.
So as I hinted in the beginning of today's video, this piece didn't turn out the way I wanted it in all respects, but I just want to point out that this is so much fun to me, just to take a piece of furniture that is free, destined for the trash, and just turn it into something better, and it increases your confidence as a DIYer, and I just can't recommend it enough.
That is really different than this one, much more orange on here, and then this is almost like black. It's really dark.
So then I went in and layered the special walnut right on top of that antique walnut.
Really liking this because look how red and orangey, kind of splotchy that is. And then on this side where I've done the special walnut, I mean on camera it still looks kind of orange, but it is a lot darker. It is a lot more brown toned in person. I mean, maybe it's just because I'm staying on that side. There, that's a little bit better. You can see how much more like brown it is than that side, which is much more orange. So I am liking this so far. I'm gonna finish up here and wipe it off, and then I will start on the base. Okay, so I'm done with the table. I stained it just once with the special walnut. I've moved on to the chairs. Now these were looking like pretty rough just because they were not like sanded at all. So there was still a lot of the stain like coming off in like kind of like chipping off from the like the citrus strip that she had put on it. So I started sanding them down, and I might be kind of crazy, but I kind of just like them like this. Let me show you. Okay, so here's an example of one of them that I have just sanded a little bit. Like I haven't even really done that much on it, but just using a sanding block. And it's crazy how much like pink is coming off. I don't know if you can tell on this sanding block, but it almost looks like pink. Anyway, I think that I kind of like this like distressed look. I'm not like a distressed like shabby chic in my own home, but I feel like this kind of works. So I am trying to decide. I'm gonna get it completely sanded down. So we're gonna see how this goes.
I will say, I don't think I would ever take on a sanding project of chairs with like angles and spindles like this, but because she used the citrus strip on these, the stain just comes right off. Like it was just already off pretty much, and I was just almost just wiping it off, so it was actually quite satisfying. I mean, you can see here, it just pretty much looks like I'm dusting, but I am sanding. And if you want to be extremely lazy like me, you can use your blower to clean off some of the dust. I do recommend wiping it down a little bit before you stain it, but this got the major dust off.
Okay, change of plans again. So I texted Dominic a picture of these as is, just sanded down, and he was like, oh, no, you're insane for wanting to leave those. So I'm going to stain them. I think I was probably just being lazy because I don't want to stain another thing, but you're gonna do it. And these are gonna match, and it's gonna be better. Fingers crossed.
Okay, I said fingers crossed, and I was definitely starting to feel that because once I started working on this table more, and specifically the chairs, I started getting a little bit nervous about how this was going to function in our home, and specifically if it was going to be really any better than our current dining room table. Now, these chairs, I love how they look. The table, I just wasn't so sure. Dominic started calling it the squid table, and then that got stuck in my head. Why do husbands have to say stuff like that? It's a Duncan Fife antique table, but you can see how beautiful these chairs turned out. I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to do at this point, and I will share that with you later in today's video. I went in and stained it with the special walnut again, just to make sure it was nice and dark. And then I also went in with the top coat, which is a clear matte color. Now it does go on very translucent, almost blue. Don't worry, because it will dry clear unless you have a black color, when you do need to mix in a little bit of that black paint color into the top coat. But if it is wood or if it's a lighter color, you should be just fine.
Okay, it's been a few days. We went to the beach. We took the boys to the beach, and it was super fun. The current dining room table that I have isn't bad. Like, it's actually really nice. It's an Ethan Allen table that we like traded with a friend of a friend who just like needed to get rid of this table, needed a smaller one, and we needed a longer one. Now we need an even longer one because this one only seats 6, right? And I mean, there's 4 of us, and then when we have friends over, it's like we really max it out. Everyone's like on the corners, and because it has the legs on the sides, you can't really like use the corners very functionally. So in addition to the color being a little bit off for my taste and the size being too small, it also has cushions. This just isn't a great idea with having young kids. And it also has this crack whose like full-time job is collecting crumbs, and I am constantly just taking a butter knife and just like scraping crumbs out of here. So I'm a little sick of that.
So I'm about to show you guys how it turned out, but y'all might just laugh at me for saying this. We are not going to keep this table. So once we brought it into the space, I just realized how short it was. For one, I think that's just a thing with like antique furniture. Things are a little bit lower down. Also, even though it has the corners that I thought would be able to just like fit more people around it, it is just not big enough. Like it feels much shorter and much like smaller than our current table, even though it's only like 2 inches shorter. I'm going to be putting this table on Marketplace. If you're in the Tampa Bay area, let me know if you want a table. I'm going to be selling it for pretty cheap. I mean, I didn't pay anything for it, and I would just like want it gone, you know? So hopefully it can find a new home that loves it, appreciates it. I'm going to keep looking for my dream table, which I will give you a sneak peek of after I show you the reveal of this table. So let me go ahead and show you this table reveal in 3, 2, 1. Snatched off the tripod. Let's go to the garage and I'm going to show you the chairs I absolutely love and the table vision that I have. And let it be known, we did set up my husband's gym. But then he went fishing and it all just like exploded here. So maybe I'll clean it up for him while he's at work today and surprise him with like, hey, you can exercise now, sorry. But these are the chairs that I absolutely love. I also found these on Facebook Marketplace. I really love this curve. I have 6 of them, but 2 of them don't have the handles, which is unfortunate. I didn't see that when I got them on Marketplace. The picture didn't show that great. See those back there only have like the backing of them, and I really like this curve. I think it makes it much more interesting, but I don't like this yellow toned wood, so I'm going to paint them is my plan. I'm going to paint them black, and I will insert a picture here of the table of my dreams, which is kind of like a lighter wood, kind of more rustic, just farmhouse, like chunky long table. I would prefer for it to seat like 8 or have a leaf so that it can seat even more, like 10. That would be great. But I just have to keep looking. I have to be patient. So that's how it goes. Well, my internet guy just came, so I'm gonna wrap this up real quick. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you love thrifting, homemaking, and thrift flips and DIYs, I hope you will stick around by hitting that subscribe, like this video, that really supports my channel, and comment what you think of this table. Do you think it's pretty? I think it is. Does it look like a squid? It's okay if it does. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Have a blessed week. Bye. We're going to the thrift store today. I'm obsessed right now with Amber Lewis. Amber Interiors is her company. I found so much good stuff.